Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Halo Infinite. I played it on the Xbox Series X. It's also available on the Series S, Xbox One, and PC. So let's jump into the story. Once again, you play as Master Chief. This time you're on a new Halo ring, and you're up against the Banished, which is an offshoot of the Covenant. They have their own belief system, but the Banished do feel very familiar because they're made up of the same alien races that made up the Covenant. You get paired with a perky new AI, you've got a buddy who's a pilot, and, well, I gotta say, overall, I don't hate the story, but it also doesn't feel overly inspired is how I would phrase it. I mean, it definitely fits in with the Halo universe, and it's not a bad story by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels very familiar. Now let's talk about the audio. The audio is phenomenal in this game across the board. The music in the Halo franchise has always been fantastic. It always really fits the mood. It gets dramatic. It gets epic. I think they've always done a wonderful job with the Halo soundtracks. As for the sound effects, I think the sound effects are really good. All the different weapons, they do sound, in fact, different, which is nice. The vehicles have their own unique sounds. The different enemies, you can pick up on them from their voices. I think just overall with that sound design element, they did a great job. As for the voiceover work, I think it's really good. Chief is still very much Chief. He's exactly what you'd expect. Your new AI is very, like I said, perky, and I like her. I think what they did with her is really cool, and I think the voice actress did a great job bringing her to life. Same with your pilot. Oh my god, I love the pilot, because he's funny. Not all the time, but man, when he's funny, he is funny. Now let's get into the gameplay mechanics and whatnot, and it is a first-person, open-world action game. I mean, really, and I hate to draw the comparison, but it was just wedged in my brain the entire time I was playing this because it's how it feels, but it basically felt like playing a Far Cry game in the Halo universe. None of the wacky, over-the-top shit that you get in a Far Cry game, but that's how the gameplay is structured. That's how the world you're in is structured. You have your main missions, and if you just want to focus on the main campaign, you very easily can, but there's a ton of side stuff to do. You can go rescue, UNSC squads, you can go take forward operating bases, you can take down certain banished facilities. You do also get abilities like the grappling hook, dodging, shields, etc. And I wish those were more easily swapped on the fly. I think that would be a really cool thing. Not that it's like horribly difficult, it's just kind of obnoxious. I wish there was just a quick button I could tap and voila, I could be using that ability rather than, a couple of buttons to get there. Or even just like a wheel that you can select from quickly. Something, But I did love the grappling hook. I think that is an awesome addition to the game as a whole. One addition to the game that I really wasn't blown away with is there are like high value targets and they have special weapons. Now those special weapons are ultra powerful, they are awesome, but you can't just get ammo for them, which that was really disappointing to me. You really have to go back to a forward operating base and, re-buy that weapon basically, and I didn't really like that. I wished you could have just picked up ammo. Like, I found a special mangler, but I couldn't just use regular mangler ammo on it, and that was really disappointing to me, so I found myself just using a regular mangler, because you can get that ammo anywhere. As for the multiplayer, it's been out quite a while, and I really didn't touch it until now, but there's plenty of reviews on it, and I'll add my 2 cents. It's enjoyable, but take that as the fact that I am not a big Halo multiplayer fan. I've always preferred the campaigns to the multiplayer. I personally prefer Call of Duty. I really used to like Battlefield's multiplayer, but that's more my style. Halo's multiplayer is fine, and I do enjoy it to an extent, but for me, I just get over it pretty quickly. I will say there's a good amount of modes. They've made some changes, which I'm glad, because the original setup for playlists kind of sucked balls. Let's get into the controls, and they're awesome. I mean, I don't have anything else to add to that. Halo is one of the first games that really showed first-person shooters could work very well on console. The controls have kind of standardized across FPSs, and Halo has joined in on that, and they work really well, though. I had 0 complaints at any point in time with the controls. As for the visuals, wow. It's a beautiful game. It's truly a stunning game. I mean, Master Chief's armor looks better than ever. The damage on it looks phenomenal. Your other characters, I like the design of the AI. I also really like Echo 216, the pilot. I think he's well designed. I like what he adds. Obviously, I still like the designs of pretty much everything. I think the weapons look great. The world itself, though, and first off, I'll say the enemies are all really well designed. The amount of detail in them is fantastic, as well as the weapon effects, just pretty much everything. But I want to stop for a minute and say the world. The world is really beautiful in this game. I haven't noticed any, like, mind-shattering, like, crazy details, but I will say it's just a beautiful world that they have brought to life. And it feels very much like a Halo ring, and what can I say? I really don't know what to say. It's a beautiful game. I think the details there, the realism is there, just the world itself is phenomenal. I like the animations for everything as well. What can I say? I think it's a really beautiful game. So to wrap this up, if you've ever wanted to play a Halo game that plays a lot like a Far Cry game, this is the game for you, which I will say is a little disappointing. I've always enjoyed that more story-driven and linear nature of the Halo franchise, and I don't think that turning it into a Far Cry game really fully benefits the game, but at the same time, it does give you more gameplay in that world, which isn't a bad thing. I'm ambivalent on that subject, but overall I am going to say I recommend it. I had a good time with it. I enjoyed playing Halo Infinite. Okay, so in the comments down below, how long have you been playing the Halo franchise? Have you actually been playing it since the first Halo came out? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share and subscribe. Have a good one.